Namaste ji, namaste. Welcome to Current Affairs for the month of August 2021. So we are slightly reorienting, changing the structure of the course. Up till now, we used to divide the month into 3 sessions, that is 1st to 10th, 10th to 20th, and 20th to 31st. From August, and basically primarily for 2022 examinations, we'll be splitting it topic wise. So there will be separate lectures for national current affairs, international, legal, sports, deaths, important days, appointments, awards, etc., so that your notes are organized and information remains organized in a much more organized manner. Now, when you will be taking, so a lot of you folks will be watching this via the course, and this will be going live on YouTube as well. So every month earlier, we used to put in the 1st to 10th wala video on YouTube, and then rest were in the course. So for the examinations of 2022 from August 2021, we'll be putting any one of these modules on YouTube. We'll decide from month to month. So for the August, we'll be putting the national level current affairs. Now, if you are in the DU LLB mock test series, and if you are taking the DU LLB 2021 exam, you can pretty much skip this video if you wish to. All the relevant current affairs, the questions are already covered out in the mocks. Everything is covered. Olympics तो हमने already we covered back in ये जो जुलाई वाला जो सेक्शन है आपका कोर्स में, वो मैंने ऑलरेडी कर दिया. इस बारी पैरालंपिक्स का मैं अलग से काम कर दूंगा. अफगानिस्तान तालिबान के ऊपर इंटरनेशनल में अगर ज़रूरत पड़ी तो अलग से आ जाएगा, अदरवाइज विल कवर आउट इन इंटरनेशनल. नाउ विदाउट वेस्टिंग any much more of your time, the new digital payment system, e-rupee. Now this is absolutely crucial because, well, it's a central government scheme, right? So it's developed by NPCI. NPCI के ऊपर static G के module में, if you're watching this in the course, NPCI के ऊपर already lecture है with all the relevant details. Please do watch that. So e-rupee, E-R-U-P-I, is a digital voucher which can be redeemed by beneficiaries. There is no card, app, there is no internet connection required. So the Sarkar is going to send SMS strings or QR codes basically to the phones of the beneficiary. So this is a direct benefit transfer scheme, also known as a DBT. All right. So from Sarkar straight to the beneficiary, no middleman allowed. So e-rupee. ठीक है जी. Now IAC-1, that is the code name of eventually the ship that will be called as INS Vikrant. Vikrant पहले भी थी एक, confuse नहीं होना है. This is the new one, INS Vikrant, and this is India's maiden indigenous aircraft carrier. So for the first time, we've built it totally in-house, and this is important because in August, it started its sea trials, and it's being manufactured by Cochin Shipyard. Now, third is, this is very low probability, but still slightly political news, because a lot of bodies in the nation, a lot of political bodies started observing the 1st of August 2019, बेसिकली 2019 में क्या हुआ था, तो इन्होंने जब मोदी सरकार ने ट्रिपल तलाक के ऊपर जो लॉ पास करा था, सो टू कमेमोरेट दैट डे we are celebrating Muslim Women Rights Day. Some websites, some websites reported as if it's basically they are celebrating against, or basically they're marking the day to protest कि ये इनको नहीं करना चाहिए था. But that's beside the point. The important news is the date and day. And ashwagandha is being studied for recovery from COVID-19. It's a fantastic herb. कई लोग अश्वगंध कहते हैं, कई लोग अश्वगंधा कहते हैं, right? So ashwagandha, so this is with collaboration by Ministry of Ayush with the London-based institute. We do not need to get into that. Herb का name, low probability current affair, both of these low probability ones. ठीक है. For 2022 exams, obviously you keep making a note, and then monthly current affair quiz तो आपके पास आ ही जाएगा. Then we are celebrating, in August we celebrate the 100th year of the Madras Legislative Council. Now that's a big thing. Now, point of view, if you're taking any sort of law entrance, obviously why would you be on the channel otherwise? Legislative Council के बारे में पढ़ लीजिएगा. Just as a revision अब आ गया सामने तो पढ़ लेते हैं. PM Daksh is the portal and app which is basically being, or rather was launched for skill development schemes. So taking the skill development schemes to backward classes, etc. India, इसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे under the international law model, because a lot many MCQs can be crafted. We have already discussed this throughout the year as well. So India is basically now has the presidentship of the UNSC. So we are a non-permanent member. So August में, this is a monthly rotation presidentship, and हमारी जो meeting हुई primarily on maritime security, and this was the first time that a meeting of the UNSC was held on this topic. So this topic becomes crucial. All right, if you have taken mock 16, I think 16, 17, 18, etc. All questions, all relevant questions have already been covered. So Modi ji tweeted, actually this is again low probability, but Shashi Tharoor taunted him. But uske andar this could have gone to the sports section as well, but ठीक है. So India के जो hockey men's team के goalkeeper का नाम PR Srijesh, because Modi ji tweeted and Shashi Tharoor came back with a sly tweet. But since this was reported in the Hindu, and if the examiner is reading that, question becomes, who's the goalkeeper, or rather who was the goalkeeper during Olympics 2021? PR Srijesh. That's why I've covered it. And Vikrant ki submarine ka naam S3, earlier it was called Arigat, ARIGHAT. Both of these will be commissioned in 2022. This is absolutely crucial and absolutely high probability. Bhubaneswar is the first city to achieve 100% COVID-19 vaccination. Mind you, I've said first city, not the first state, because वो एक और current affair है. 11th, Puri is the first city to achieve straight from the tap. So they are giving you filtered water, जैसा बाहर होता है ऑस्ट्रेलिया वगैरह में. You can straight away drink from the water क्योंकि साफ ही इतना है. So Puri has started this. So Odisha is on the correct path. इससे रिलेटेड करंट अफेयर जो कि हमने ऑलरेडी, अगर आप 2021 का एग्जाम दे रहे हैं, दैट इज ऑलरेडी हमने कवर आउट किया हुआ है. जो आपकी जो जल शक्ति, ये जो आपकी मिनिस्ट्री ने एक कैंपेन लॉन्च करा था, थैंक्स टू विच अ पर्टिकुलर state became the first one, and then World Water Day, etc. are all connected under there. We have already covered for 2021 exams. Revise that current affair as well. Acha, this is not a current affair. This just came up on my news feed. Repeat हो रहा है तो ठीक है. So who is India's Chief Economic Advisor? Krishnamurthy Subramanian. Then we come to National Monetization Pipeline. Now this is extremely crucial. Actually है क्या कि इस इन current affair series से काफ़ी UPSC वगैरह का भी काम हो जाता है. नाउ नेशनल मोनेटाइजेशन पाइपलाइन के ऊपर प्रश्न यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स में तो आएगा ही आएगा, बट क्या पता आपके यहाँ भी आ जाए, ऑब्वियसली ऑन अ मच सिंपलर लेवल. नेशनल मोनेटाइजेशन पाइपलाइन इज बेसिकली आपकी 4-year पाइपलाइन फॉर ब्राउन फील्ड एसेट्स. नाउ व्हाट आर दीज ब्राउन फील्ड एसेट्स? सो दिस इज हाउ क्वेश्चंस आर फ्रेम्ड बाय द एग्जामिनर. सो प्रिज्यूम दैट दे आस्क यू व्हाट आर ब्राउन फील्ड एसेट्स, like in the DULLB 2020 I believe they asked you about that beach वाला, ये blue flag beaches, right, which was अगेन कवर्ड इन उससे पहले वाले मॉक टेस्ट. तो ये ऐसे ही एग्जामिनेशन, बेसिकली एग्जामिनर रादर ऐसे सोचता ना, व्हाट आर दीज ब्राउन फील्ड एसेट्स? सो ग्रीन फील्ड एंड ब्राउन फील्ड एसेट्स, दैट यू नो द टाइप ऑफ फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इन विच brownfield investments, so brownfield investments and brownfield assets, they are type of FDIs. Greenfield is when the company, when the bahar se jo paisa aa raha hai, they are constructing entirely new facilities. Brownfields are when they are purchasing or leasing existing facilities. All right, so the government is planning to monetize their own brownfield assets, जो कि इन्होंने हाईवे और ये बिजली की तारें वगैरह जो सब एसेट तैयार करे जो काफ़ी ज़्यादा सड़ रहे हैं, they want to monetize them by letting them out. ठीक है जी. Some outlets are reporting sale, but I don't think that's the entire correct position, because they are just trying to monetize it, not transfer the ownership, but then that will be very complicated for your level, so we'll skip that. Now jewelers went on strike, I believe 23rd of August, if I'm not mistaken. Date याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है. For the compulsory hallmarking process. Now this is important, introduced. So ये hallmarking process, ये तो news हो गई main. What are the associate questions that the examiner can pull out? That Bureau of Indian Standards, your hallmarking process is regulated, developed, etc. by Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS. It also develops ISI. वो जो ISI mark होता है, ये पाकिस्तान वाला ISI नहीं, या इंडिया वाला मतलब रॉ वो नहीं. ISI mark basically primarily found on a lot of electrical compliances, because electrical compliances के लिए I believe in India it is compulsory to get this mark. So it's a quality mark. Now BIS is Bureau of Indian Standards, formerly it was ISI only, तभी ISI mark है. That is Indian Standards Institute. It is now established under the BIS Act 2016, making it a statutory body. Right, that's the funda of a statutory body, is correct. So now another, more questions that can pulled out from this specific news. Then ISI by guys. So ISI is a standard compliance mark. Is it a trademark? Yes, but it falls under the subcategory of certification mark as defined in section 2 subsection 1 clause E of the Trademarks Act 1999. So it's a certification mark. ठीक है जी. अब by chance let us say that the question paper was open to creation when this news happened, and the examiner then decides to put in such a question, and let us say that you get a question that ISI is a type of अब वो हर साल नहीं पूछेगा बिकॉज दिस इज एक्चुअली अ करंट अफेयर रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन. द लीगल कॉन्सेप्ट हैज बीन एक्सट्रैक्टेड आउट फ्रॉम हिम and basically put in a law entrance, and that's how you think. So if you can think like this, well, life becomes very easy. ठीक है जी. In a law entrance, of course. ठीक है जी. Bihar, well, all parties have approached the PM for a caste based census. BJP is not in support, but every other party is कि भाई हमारा जो census जो भी होने वाला है उसमें caste के आधार पे हमें बताएं कि कौन सी caste का कौन कितना रह रहा है. So that will being proposed in Bihar, but it's up to the approval of the Prime Minister. We've celebrated the 75th day of independence. अब इस पे आपको बहुत ज़्यादा confusion रहेगी कि यार ये 74th होना चाहिए 75th. So remember, I have written day, but trouble is that the Sarkar is officially celebrating the 75th year of independence. I'll show you the PIB की official all set for 75th Independence Day celebrations. क्योंकि आप 947 का एक include करेंगे तो 75वां आ जाएगा 2021 में कौन सा दिन, right? बट वो लोग ईयर भी रेफर कर रहे हैं तो मतलब देयर इज ऑब्वियसली ऑलमोस्ट ऑलवेज अ कंफ्यूजन. ठीक है जी. सो आई विल लेबल इट एज दी 75th day of independence because if you do 2021 minus 1947, well then you land up on the figure of 74. But if you actually start counting how many days, like 15 अगस्त हमने कितनी बार, तो ये शायद 75वां गया था. अब इस दिन पे we launched the PM Modi basically in his speech mentioned the National Hydrogen Mission. National Hydrogen Mission के अंदर will be aiming at 450 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030. 2030 is my way of saying it, मेरे को याद रहता है ऐसे बोलने से. तो 2030 या 2030 जैसा भी आपको ठीक लगे. And we have achieved 100 gigawatts of that already. Now again, if the question paper for DULB LLB 2021 was open when this news came out, पैराग्राफ के अंदर लिखा हुआ है ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन. तो ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन इज प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय स्प्लिटिंग हाइड्रोजन एंड ऑक्सीजन यूजिंग इलेक्ट्रोलाइजर, and the electrolyzer has to be powered by electricity from renewable energy. Now I'm not going to go into the details because I very frankly don't even know myself, but ठीक है, अगर मैं आपकी जगह हूँ तो मैं ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन के फंडे को रट्टा मार लूँगा. अब अगर आपको ये प्रश्न दिख गया आपके एग्जाम में, पहली बात तो ये समझ लीजिएगा दैट द क्वेश्चन पेपर वाज ओपन व्हेन दिस न्यूज़ वाज बीइंग अनाउंस्ड. सेकेंडली, आप सोचेंगे लॉ एंट्रेंस में साइंस के क्वेश्चंस पूछ रहा है, अब अगली बार मैं लूसेंट की किताब, अब जो 2022 वाले वो सोचेंगे लूसेंट की किताब उठा के सारा साइंस का सारा स्ट्रैटेजी का. This is a current affair related question, may just not be repeated in other years. Well, that's how examinations are created. If you see UPSC GS2 ka paper, which is primarily for constituting polity, they ask you current affairs related constitution and polity, not the standard stuff, because standard stuff is being asked in prelims, standard stuff is being asked in the law optional. खैर वो तो जो भी आपकी श्रद्धा है, अगर आप law optional लेंगे तो नहीं, मतलब वो वहाँ से cover होगा कि नहीं. खैर anyway, that's separate story. So PM Modi announced 14th August to be celebrated as Partition Horrors Remembrance Day. Crucial current affair, write it down. And we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It's a series of events to celebrate our independence. So उसका नाम क्या है? Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. ठीक है जी. PM Gati Shakti scheme, another important central government scheme. ठीक है जी. It's a 100 trillion rupee, not dollar, integrated infrastructure scheme that would make the economy more competitive. So primarily we are focused on the logistics side of things, that is railway, highway, waterways, and basically हमारे ये अनुमान जो official government report में लगा है कि Indian companies face almost 13% cost, क्योंकि सब कुछ integrated नहीं है, मतलब there is no integration of movement. So by the time the goods we are able to get out to the consumers or to export, we are at a 13% cost deficit. मतलब हमको चाइना से ज़्यादा ऊपर लग जाती just to ship it out. So we have become basically in the export market become uncompetitive based on prices vis-a-vis China. So we are launching PM Gati Shakti scheme. ठीक है जी. And Rajiv Gandhi जी, this is again मतलब not a current affair, just popped up. एक article आ गया था उसके अंदर यही mention था. The youngest PM of India was Rajiv Gandhi at the age of 40 years when Indira Gandhi was obviously assassinated. Then Google Doodle basically made a doodle for Subhadra Kumari Chauhan, who wrote the famous poem झांसी की रानी, right? तो अब क्वेश्चन आता है तो इसके अंदर अब ये नहीं करेंगे कि सारे गूगल डूडल रट लेंगे ऑब्वियसली, बट ये तो थोड़ा सा अब इम्पोर्टेंट है. अगर क्वेश्चन पेपर खुला हुआ है इस साल का 2021 में, तो ऑब्वियसली वेल डोंट बी सरप्राइज्ड इफ दे आस्क यू हु रोट द फेमस पोएम झांसी की रानी, बिकॉज then remember that guy is not going to Lucent. that guy is reading this article कि Google Doodle has published such a doodle for सुभद्रा कुमारी चौहान और प्रश्न आपके सामने है. ठीक है जी. Delhi government, this is low probability, locked down 4 RTOs, that is regional transport offices, for a faceless initiative that you can get your car registered, etc., etc. Your license basically renewal primarily, without ever visiting the RTO. PM Modi's scrapping policy is commercial vehicles 15 years, personal vehicles 20 years. If they fail an automated test, they will be scrapped. So two sort of an MCQs 15 and 20. And we are set to import genetically modified soy meal for the first time. Low probability, can skip. मैंने अपने notes में डाल दिया क्योंकि आ गए थे. अच्छा, 26 is crucial. So 4 more Indian sites have been added to the Ramsar list. Ramsar relates to wetlands. Static GK वाले मॉड्यूल अगर आप कोर्स में हैं तो कृपया करके स्टैटिक जीके वाले मॉड्यूल में रामसर वाली कन्वेंशन के बारे में सारी डिटेल्स लिख लीजिए. So 2 have been added from Haryana, 2 have been added from Gujarat. The total now after these additions is 46. We have 46 Indian sites on the wetlands list. Then this is crucial. So I think Odisha वालों ने ये चीज उठाई थी. So the Paika Bidroh is under consideration to be declared as the first war of independence. अभी कौन सा officially first war of independence कौन सा homework पर ढूंढ के रखेगा. This happened in 1817. So ओडिशा वालों ने वहाँ पे पार्लियामेंट में पूछा था, जवाब तो ये आया था जी, हाँ जी, it is under consideration by the Ministry of Education to be declared as the first war of independence. तो पाइका विद्रोह, ठीक है जी. एंड विद्रोह वैसे तो विद्रोह होगा अगर नॉर्थ इंडियन हिंदी में जाएंगे तो, लेकिन ओडिशा वाला सीन है तो इट्स विद्रोह. अच्छा, काजीरंगा पार्क became the first national park to be equipped with satellite phones. Indore, also in Madhya Pradesh, also referred to as the cleanest city, has now become the first water plus city. Extremely crucial current affair, write it down, under the Swachh Survekshan 2021 scheme. So which one of the following is the water plus city, all labeled as the water plus city? That's Indore. ठीक है जी. Karnataka is the first state to implement the National Education Policy 2020. Remember this year as well, because well, question can be framed. NEP came or NEP was formulated in which year, etc., etc. And NEP किस कमेटी की रिकमेंडेशन से आया था? जागे मोहन प्यारे, right? And Madhya Pradesh is the second state. Then the Border Road Organization finished black topping, सब कुछ मतलब रोड तैयार कर दी इन्होंने. The world's highest motorable road at Umlingla in Ladakh at 19,300 feet. ठीक है जी. Don't be surprised if they ask you where is the world's most highest motorable road located or at what altitude. All right. And health and family welfare minister, again not a current affair, मतलब पहले हम कवर कर ही चुके हैं, but मनसुख मंडाविया, जस्ट एक बारी क्योंकि वो गुजरात वाले अभी सीएम साहब ने अभी रिजाइन करना पड़ा उनको, and then he was running around, so I thought I'll just repeat it. Himachal Pradesh became the first state to provide the first dose to 100% of its population. First dose of what? Not whiskey, COVID vaccination, COVID-19 vaccination, right? और पहले भी सिटी थी, अब ये स्टेट था. And Sujalam is the Jal Shakti Ministry, is the name of the 100-day campaign launched by the Jal Shakti Ministry as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. UNESCO held can be clubbed in international use, but we'll go here. हमने यहाँ पे डाला हुआ है. So UNESCO held World Heritage Committee held its 44th conference, if I'm not mistaken, at Fuzhou, Fuzhou in China. But that is not important. What is important is that Ramappa Rudreshwara temple in Telangana and Dholavira that is a Harappan era city in Gujarat have been given the World Heritage Site status. And after these additions, we are now at the count of 40. I believe I have not written it here. If I'm mistaken, please do correct me, but I believe it's 40 as far as I remember. And President Kovind remarked that he aimed to see or wanted to see, hoped to see India as a developed nation without any social inequalities by 2047. So this is the MCQ 2047. ठीक है जी. Legal में अगले लेक्चर में चलते हैं to keep the course completely organized. ठीक है जी. Legal, international, sports, deaths, important days, awards, appointments, सब कुछ we'll basically cover, but section by section. तो ये national था. ठीक है जी. If you have seen this on YouTube, well, great. Wishing you all the best. Hope it helps you out. Wishing each and every one of you, if you're taking the DULLB 2021 in 2 weeks from now, wishing you all the very best. Take care. Bye.